The first time I stepped onto the planet Valrix, I expected aggressive fauna, strange gravity, maybe a poisonous atmosphere I could barely tolerate, your typical frontier-class world. What I didn't expect was an entire species terrified of me before I even opened my mouth. My shuttle had barely cooled when a squad of tall, armored reptilian guards surrounded me. Their eyes were slitted, their movements precise. They didn't raise weapons. They didn't shout. They just froze. Then the commander, scaled, elegant, with ceremonial tattoos etched across her jaw, took one trembling step back. Her pupils dilated. Her talons clicked against the steel floor. She inhaled sharply through her fangs. And she whispered, barely audible, "That scent. Are you human?" The word human sounded like a curse in her mouth. Or a prayer. Maybe both. I raised my hands slowly. Yes. I showered today, if that helps. A ripple of panic went through her entire squad. Not hostility. Not anger. Pure, instinctive fear. The commander dropped to one knee so fast I thought she slipped. "Please," she said, voice shaking, "do not destroy our city." I blinked. "What?" "Lady, I just landed." Beginning the myth of humanity. It took the Valrixian commander nearly 3 whole minutes to regain enough composure to stand. By then, the rest of the landing crew had scattered, leaving her alone with me on the pad. "Forgive us," she said, bowing again. "Your species' reputation precedes you. We did not expect a human emissary." "Emissary? I'm just a xenobotanist. A plant guy. I'm here to study flowers." She stared as if I had told her I was here to rewrite the laws of physics. "You study flora?" "Yep. With no ulterior motives. No conquest. No demonstrations of apocalyptic strength. Why would I do any of that? I like plants." The commander looked dazed. "Humanity," she murmured, "is spoken of in our empire as the sleeping cataclysm. Your kind vanished after the Great Quietude, leaving only rumors, stories of your warriors cleaving starships, of your voices causing madness in weaker species, of your blood burning through metal." I sighed. "Yeah, other species exaggerate a lot." But her terror didn't fade. If anything, it deepened. "You carry the scent of one," she whispered. "Strong. Unmistakable. A warrior born." Oh, that explained a lot. Most species relied heavily on pheromone detection. Humans produced odd chemical signals, signals other species often misinterpreted as aggression, dominance, or danger. "Look," I said softly, "I'm not a soldier. I'm not dangerous." The commander shook her head. "You may believe that. But myths of humanity carved themselves into our instincts long before my birth." And with that, she gestured for me to follow. "Emissary, the council will want to see you immediately. Do I have a choice?" "No." "Great." Middle, the council's fear. The Valrixian capital was a towering sprawl of obsidian spires, glowing with teal bioluminescence. Everywhere I walked, crowds scattered. Doors sealed. Children were whisked indoors by frantic parents. All because I existed. By the time we reached the high hall, I was sweating. Not from fear, from embarrassment. "This is ridiculous," I muttered. "Please refrain from angering the council," the commander whispered. "I'm not angry." She flinched. "Please lower your voice." "I'm literally whispering. Humans whisper loud." I pinched the bridge of my nose. Okay. Fine. We entered the council chamber, an enormous circular room. 12 towering reptilians sat on carved thrones, each more elaborately adorned than the last. Their eyes locked on me the moment I stepped inside. Every one of them inhaled sharply. Every one of them recoiled. The eldest counselor rose slowly, leaning on a staff carved from a single crystalline fang. "Human," he rasped, "why have you returned?" I threw my hands up. "Returned? This is my first time here." Gasps. Bodyguards tensed. The commander beside me looked seconds away from fainting. I sighed for what felt like the 20th time. "Look, I don't know what myths you've heard, but I'm just here to." The counselor cut me off with a trembling gesture. "You possess the scent of a prime human. The kind whose legends haunt our archives. The destroyers of the war era." I threw my head back in frustration. "Oh, for the love of, humans haven't been warriors for centuries. We're mostly scientists and explorers now." They exchanged glances. Nervous whispers filled the chamber. Finally, the eldest spoke again. "You claim peace. Yet your presence alone cripples our instincts. There must be a test." "Test?" "Yes. To verify whether you are the threat of prophecy." "That sounds unnecessary." "Bring in the creature." A pair of guards entered, dragging a monstrous, six-limbed beast in chains, a giant thing with bone plating and venom sacs bulging along its throat. It roared and lunged, nearly breaking free. The counselor smirked grimly. "The Carthra is immune to pheromonal intimidation. If you are truly a harmless human, it will." The beast froze, stopped breathing, then whimpered like a scolded puppy and lowered itself to the floor. The entire chamber went silent. I stared. I didn't even do anything. The beast actively rolled onto its back, exposing its stomach. Every council member stood in unified horror. The eldest whispered. "It submitted." No creature submits except under absolute terror. I put my face in my hands. Oh my God. It smelled my deodorant, didn't it? Lavender always messes with predators. The commander beside me made a strangled noise. He calms apex predators with floral scent. One of the counselors collapsed into his chair. Another muttered, "Humanity is worse than the legends." The crisis and why they needed a human. Before I could explain anything further, alarms blared through the chamber. Red lights strobed. The floor vibrated. "Counselors," a guard shouted. "The Muradin fleet has breached orbit. They demand surrender within 10 minutes. The council erupted into panicked shouting. The Muradins, an expansionist empire known for enslaving planets, were no joke. Their war fleets crushed resistance effortlessly. The commander turned to me with terror in her eyes. "They believe we shelter a human," she whispered. "They fear your species even more than we do. Shouldn't that make them not attack?" They said, "They want to see you with their own eyes." Ah, of course. The council elder staggered toward me. "Human," he pleaded, "you must speak with them. Alone your presence might." He winced, unable to finish. "Save us." "Well, no pressure." The confrontation, a human's voice. Minutes later, I stood on a balcony overlooking the city. Above, the Muradin dreadnought blotted out the sun. A booming voice thundered from orbit, transmitted across the entire planet. Valric's insignificance. Deliver the human, or we eradicate your capital. The commander stood behind me, shaking. You must not anger them, she whispered. Do not shout. Do not threaten. Your voice alone. Would you guys stop assuming I'm scary? The dreadnought trembled. As in, physically. A ripple of distortion pulsed through the clouds. Everyone stared at me. What? I asked. The commander whispered, your frustration created a resonance shockwave. IT did what? The dreadnought groaned like metal under pressure. Panels popped loose. A distant explosion rippled across its hull. Okay, deep breaths, I muttered. Don't yell. Don't talk loud. Don't sneeze. The Muradin voice returned, now wavering. Who? Human, is that you? I winced. Yes. Hello. The dreadnought shuddered again. This was ridiculous. I sucked in a breath, and spoke softly. Very softly. Leave this world alone. Silence. Then. The dreadnought's engines roared in reverse. The ship spun so fast its escorts scattered. Signals erupted in static panic. We surrender. We withdraw. We meant no offense. They fled the system within seconds. The balcony behind me erupted into stunned gasps and cries of relief. Some fainted. Some dropped to their knees. The commander whispered, awestruck. You didn't even issue a threat. I said please. That was a command woven with cosmic force. It was a whisper. She bowed deeply. Human, you have saved us. I rubbed my temples. I think I just scared an entire empire by accident. Ending the truth about humans. Hours later, after the panic settled, the council honored me with a ceremonial feast, though no one came within 5 feet of me. The commander approached shyly. Human, she said softly, may I ask something personal? Sure. You're kind. Are you truly as gentle as you claim? I looked out over their shimmering city. At the people who feared me but also trusted me. At the galaxy that had built myths around my species, myths rooted in ancient wars, long buried. We're not monsters, I said quietly. Not gods. Not destroyers. We're just humans. We try to help when we can. Her eyes softened. And yet you wield power you do not intend to. Most humans do, I said with a faint smile. But power isn't the point. What matters is what we choose to do with it. The commander bowed her head. I hope our species will learn that. Then maybe, I said, this galaxy will stop running every time it smells lavender. She laughed an anxious, but genuine sound. And for the first time since landing, I felt like maybe, just maybe, I wasn't a walking apocalypse to these people. Just a guy studying plants. And that was enough.